Sort of break it down like this.
Gang hang. We were just talking about Joe Patrick throwing himself on the Madam Web grenade yesterday. And
yeah, I did it. I did it for you because I love.
For those keeping score, Madam Web, 2 points behind Morbius on Rotten Tomatoes, coming in at 13%.
And you know what? That's weird because I see a common sentiment that I am seeing is that it's not as bad as Morbius, and I'm not sure I agree.
I don't know where you're seeing that sentiment, because I'm seeing a lot of this is the worst comic book movie ever made, and Halle Berry should be happy that this is going to supplant her
I've seen
Catwoman.
some of that. I've seen some of that as well. One thing I saw last night that made me laugh and laugh until I almost fell out of bed was somebody had collected a bunch of 1 star or less reviews off of I think like Letterboxd, because you can do half stars.
Okay.
And one of the reviews said, this is the first time in my life I've ever felt like I owed Jared Leto an apology.
See?
Wow.
Everybody should be morbid, apparently.
Yeah. So like for my experience, it was not better than Morbius. Morbius, I at least had fun watching because I was able to laugh at it for being so stupid and terrible.
Sure.
Madam Web is just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I
Full
seems to
stop.
be what everyone says.
That's kind of what
And
I
not
read.
even in like a fun way. Like there's nothing to laugh at. I saw other people going, "Oh yeah, it's so unintentionally funny." No.
Yeah.
No. I watched that thing. It was a joyless affair.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. Did it feel like Dakota Johnson really didn't want to be there? Because from the interview she's been giving, it really feels like she didn't after a while.
It kind of felt like nobody wanted to be there.
She full on
She
came out
fired.
and admitted last week, she was like, look, I was excited to like do this throwaway superhero movie, sure. But I honestly thought it was a bigger deal than it was going to be. Because they were like, yeah, you know, it's just like Spider-Man, and like there's a chance you'll be in other Spider-Man movies, and it's Spider-Man's friend and stuff. And she's like, and then I went and did Saturday Night Live. And I was like, I'm in, you know, and everyone was like, so you're in this Madam Web movie. And she was like, yeah, I'm so excited. And she's like, one of the writers, and I'm not going to tell you who it is, so I don't want to out him. He's a comic book geek. And she was like, are you a Madam Web fan? And he was like, I guess. And she was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, I don't know if there's a lot to be a fan of. And she went, what?
Who is a Madam Web fan?
That's just
I'd like
it.
to meet one.
She didn't fundamentally understand. And then he tells her, he's like, well, the character is like an old lady that sits in a chair and like sees the future. And she's like, no, she's not. She's not like that at all. And he's like, yeah, she is.
Poor
just
soul.
have no idea.
And so, I think it's fair to say that people think Madam Web is an okay character, right? Like,
well, sure.
Oh, Madam Web, fun, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know anybody. I've never once met a person that said like they are a fan
of course
of Madam Web. Like I am a fan of Guy Gardner.
Sure.
Listen,
I am a fan of the New Warriors. Nobody is a fan of Madam Web.
Damon.
There's no one in the world who said that they wanted to see a Madam Web solo movie.
No.
I can probably guarantee you on any front.
Look, I'll take it further. There's no one in the world with a Madam Web tattoo. Nope. Doesn't exist. Not out there. Promise you.
You know what?
I guarantee
would
there's
take that bet.
There's people with rhino tattoos. I bet there's
Are you
people
kidding
with
me?
hobgoblin tattoos.
people do
No
what?
Madam Web tattoos.
I would take that bet in a heartbeat.
Zero.
I bet you anything that there is somebody out there with a Madam Web tattoo.
You find one, I will get a Madam Web tattoo. All right? There we go.
You better be careful what you just want to say.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Matt,
All right,
there are tattoo people who have the worst taste that anyone's ever seen. So they're absolutely
are you
it's an
kidding me?
awful.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
Awful.
I don't
the
disagree.
worst tattoo you've ever seen. And it's 100%. It's possible. It's absolutely possible.
I'm not saying
Like
it's
there are
impossible.
people in this world that don't really understand the concept that they have a limited amount of surface area on their body, and it's going to be the same surface area they're stuck with forever.
Yeah, but those people are getting, like Wile E. Coyote with weed leaves and insane clown posse shit.
Yeah, but it's the same sort of people that were like, yeah, that would be like, yeah, Madam Web, sure, sounds great.
No, I doubt it.
So before we get any further, do you guys care about spoilers for the Madam Web movie?
No, I don't.
Nope. And I've been spoiled anyway. I don't care.
Spoil away.
You can spoil. I want to see.
I
this
mean,
movie
that's
so
kind
badly.
of that's kind of where I'm at, Brian. Like, I don't think that there's anything that I could say about the Madam Web movie that would ruin it for you further than the Madam Web movie already did for itself.
And it's a prequel. So guess what? There's no stakes. It's not going to affect anything fundamentally because everything that happened to Spider-Man has already happened. We know it's good. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay, so Madam Web. Madam Web takes place in the year 2003. It opens 30 years prior to that in 1973 with Cassie Webb, her mom in the Amazon researching spiders before she died.
Okay, real quick.
Spoiler alert.
They took that line out.
That line is not in the movie.
Yes, they took that line out of the movie because everybody made fun of it.
It's not in there.
And the director was like, fine, it's my ball. I'm going home. You don't get that meme.
Yeah. It's not in there. It's not in the movie. And I was very upset, but it does open.
I think it's smart to not waste screen time on something everyone's watched over and over again in a trailer. I'll just say that.
You know what?
Fair
That's
enough.
probably
Fair
fair.
enough.
That's probably
it's baked into the movie. But
right. But you do find out why mom was in the Amazon researching spiders before she died. She was after this like rare spider. She was hired by Ezekiel to find this very rare spider. There's something about a tribe of spider people, Las Arañas.
The hearts of the spiders.
Heart of the spider. Yeah, Matt and I used to make fun of that book mercilessly when Marvel was like Araña, the heart of the spider. But yeah, it's Las Arañas, and you know what? They could have done something at least sort of cool by saying that Anya Corazon, who is Araña in the comics, is like descended from that tribe of people. They do not. They don't.
No, they do not.
She's just random girl. Anyway, so she's after this spider for Ezekiel. She finds it, and then Ezekiel suddenly starts murdering everybody in sight.
Is Ezekiel just a dude at this point, or is he wearing Black Spider-Man outfit?
No. He's just a dude at this point.
All right.
Is he barefoot?
Probably not. And so what you come to find out is, so he's killing people. He's taking the spider. He accidentally shoots Cassie's mom, and
So wait, he's
she's
killing
dying.
people.
Of course,
and he accidentally shoots her.
well, there's a struggle for the gun.
Oh,
and the
okay,
gun
gotcha,
goes off.
gotcha. Okay.
So he doesn't have a chance to like point it at her.
He's like,
Shoot her.
kill you.
But she grabs
Whoops,
it.
not you. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, and she's also like 9.5 months pregnant.
Oh, of course.
Like the sort of pregnant where the doctor would be like, do not go.
Yeah, the sort of
the Amazon.
irresponsibly pregnant where it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we put off the fucking jungle for a month so you can have a baby, you know? Jesus.
More than that, but yes.
And then, so she's dying, and the Las Arañas come out of the trees. Way to show up on time, dudes. You waited until after she got shot.
Are they
Ezekiel gets
spider
away.
people or are they just people?
They've got spider powers.
Okay, they're not like
They're
man
people.
spider
They're
or
like
some shit.
tribal.
Okay.
No. They're human. They're like tribal, like South American.
Okay. I was hoping it was
I
Peter
think they're
Parker.
in-
I was hoping this was Peter Parker with 6 arms. That's where we were
Yeah,
going.
no. I think they're in like Peru, something like that. But yeah, they come out of the trees. They whisk mom away to this cave where there's water, and she gives birth to the baby. Oh wait, first they make one of the magic spiders, bite her.
Of course.
They don't say it's magic, but it's special.
That's the only way we get powers.
They make one of the
in the Sony
They,
verse. You gotta be
They make
bitten
one of
by
the
something.
spiders. They make one of the spiders bite mom. Then the baby's born and mom dies.
This is Dakota Johnson is the baby.
Dakota Johnson is the baby. Yeah. Okay. Fast forward 30 years. We're back in New York, and she is a paramedic with Ben Parker is her partner. And God. So they're like saving lives, you know, doing all this stuff. For somehow, these spider people not only got her back to civilization, but back to her home country.
Oh, they don't
with
bother
all of her mother's earthly possessions.
They don't bother showing you that. It's just like, now she's home.
No.
Okay.
Just fast forward. Don't worry about it.
Gotcha.
And so she's got this suitcase full of all of mom's research and a photo of her. It's like, I'm sorry. The spider people took the time to pack that shit up and send it back home with her. I don't understand. How did
very
this happen?
respectful. Come on.
Anyway, that's not the point. That's neither here nor there. And so they things happen. She starts to see glimpses of the future. We learn that Ben Parker is kind of like watching over his sister-in-law, Mary, who is very pregnant with who we can only presume is young baby Peter Parker. Her husband, Richard, is off globetrotting. I like to think it's because he's secretly a spy, like they were in the comics. They were SHIELD agents. They don't actually say that. Okay. They just say he's out of the country.
All right.
And so she starts having visions of the future. She runs across these three girls, and Ezekiel shows up to slaughter the girls because he has been having visions of his death at their hands. In the future, at some point, he has a vision of them in costume with powers killing him dead. And so his whole motivation boils down to, I'm going to kill them before they kill me. And
okay,
stuff happens.
Is there any spider totem bullshit? Do they do any spider totem bullshit other than the people?
They don't say spider totem. Okay. They don't say anything about the chosen one or anything like.
Oh my.
Is Madam Web in that tattoo? I don't have my glasses.
No, but it does look like Mark Stern just posted a picture of a gentleman with an unfortunate Marvel back tattoo, and it kind of looks like somebody glued color forms to him.
They look like shrinky dinks.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
So
good luck in prison.
The rest of the movie is basically Dakota running around with the girls. And everybody just shouting each other's names for the next 90 minutes.
Do they call themselves Aranya and Spider Woman and shit like that? Or?
No. Nope. Look,
just first names.
I'm going to say this. I'm just going to get this out of the way now. If you are hoping at some point that the Spider Women actually do become Spider Women and show up in costume to fight Ezekiel, that does not happen. That is a future vision that he has that never comes to pass.
Are you kidding me?
No,
that is
it's all
complete
cloudy premonition.
It's a complete bait and switch from the trailer.
Because they're teenagers. They're like they're teenage girls.
Oh,
and so but you do see them and they do some things to kind of like.
Oh my God! I want to beat this movie up now.
I know.
Like at first I wanted to watch it and make fun. Now I want to kick its ass.
Yeah. They do some things that kind of like link it pretty firmly to Spider-Man mythos, which I thought at least they made an effort. Maddie Franklin, who is the African-American girl, references her Uncle Jonah in the comics. J. Jonah Jameson is her uncle.
Sure.
And there's all those. They say stuff about Julia. Her last name is Cornwall instead of Carpenter. But I mean. In the comics, she was older and divorced, so like maybe that was her married name. You know, maybe Carpenter was her married name.
Well, who cares?
And she just never changed it back. I don't know. I get it.
Why would you make an
excuse
for this movie?
Look, man, I don't know. I'm just trying to no prize all this dumb shit in my head.
Don't do that.
It make sense. Let it why fail. Did they call her Cornwall?
No, don't do that.
And then the stuff with Aranya or Anya, who is an undocumented
immigrant.
Like today they would have called her a dreamer, but in 2003 that shit didn't exist.
Oh, so you're saying this movie is woke, Joe? Because I can't go see it if it is.
I was
You know
saying
how I
her
get.
dad got deported. Her dad got deported. Her mom is dead, and so
Oh, okay.
she's living by herself in the apartment building where Cassie lives. It's all very like, ooh, destiny has brought them together, kind of stuff. And so,
Okay, let's tie this up because we're eating up a lot of airtime here.
Yeah, no, gotcha. At some point, Cassie has a vision of a bunch of random shit, and one of the things she sees is a giant neon S just like floating in the air. It's all very nebulous, like it's nebulous, like it's just like snippets of things on a cloudy field of webbing, right? Get it? And so it's not, their visions aren't clear, but she learns to kind of control them or at least understand them. They make it to New York. Wouldn't you know it? Mary Parker goes into labor. They got to get her to the hospital. Ben gets her to the hospital. So Cassie and the girls are trying to get the best of Ezekiel. And she uses her now expert future knowledge, her expert ability to portend the future to stop him from killing everybody. And he gets crushed by the giant neon S from the Pepsi Cola sign at the Pepsi factory in New York.
Lovely.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And that's how Ezekiel dies. And so it's like, so your vision was bullshit because they weren't your death. I was.
Oh,
right? Like that's a line from the movie. At some point she splits herself. At some point she splits herself into 3 ghostly multiples.
What?
Because they make a big deal about how all 3 of the girls are in peril and she can't save them all.
What?
And so for no reason whatsoever, she astrally projects 3 different ghost versions of herself and saves them all. She also learns that the reason Mom was irresponsibly traveling to the Amazon is that they found out the baby was going to be born with myasthenia gravis, and she was going to have a horrifying it's a disease. And she was going to have
I didn't think it was fun.
Yeah. She was going to have a horrifying neuromuscular disorder. And then Cassie says the line that I think will now be memed over and over, but I don't have a neuromuscular disorder. And so it is implied that the spider bite to Mom cured her of whatever.
Sure. Like bee venom. Just like how bee venom cured AIDS, you know?
Sure, right.
Yeah.
Right. But then, explosion this, explosion that, crushing injury, whatever. And at the end of the movie, Cassandra is blinded and in a wheelchair. And I was like, you cowards.
Wait a minute.
Could have shown her in the robot chair at the end, and you didn't.
Hold on a second, though. Please tell me, because I know what happened. How did she get blinded, Joe?
So,
short version, please.
So okay. I may have blacked out. So they are either near a fireworks factory or they plant a bunch of very powerful fireworks.
A fireworks factory in fucking New York?
No,
I don't remember. They are some sort of incendiary devices.
Okay.
And so they are going off left and right inside this factory and busting, like they're powerful enough to like, they shoot out with like a trail of sparkles like a firework, but they're powerful enough to like break through the ceiling.
This sounds like the Blacklight District in Batman and Robin,
Yeah. And then so like one of them zips right grazes her in the face. And so she's like scarred and her eyes are all weird and she has to wear the funny like rec specs or whatever. And blue blockers, I'm sorry. And and then in the end she's in a wheelchair and then they're all like, we're friends and it's all uplifting and we're friends and I can see your destinies and you're going to be heroes. But then they show Cassie in a costume. In a Madam Web-esque costume, standing next to Spider-Woman, Aranya, and Spider-Girl. wearing the glasses in like the red onesie. It's just like, what the fuck is going on?
All right, we're done.
And
here.
then it cuts to some terrible like 90s song.
All right,
and
we're
then
done.
the movie's over.
Wow. Okay. There you go.
So Madam Web's bad. Madam Web's bad. It makes no sense. It's got some pretty laughable lines of dialogue, but not so many that you will actually have fun laughing while you watch it.
Well, I'm saying my guess is less than 20 million this weekend. I'm gonna guess in the 15 to 18 is where I'm gonna put it.
So my rating is a skip it.
All right, there we go. Jesus H Christ, wow. So Craven,
for when Craven comes out next.
Yeah, Craven's gonna be okay, right?
God.
Man, I don't know if I have the strength. We'll see how it goes. So Matt, let's just jump. Unless you guys still have some questions about Madam Web, let's get to the question of the week because
let's do it.
We've found that it has come to our attention that people would love to hear.
I don't know what you're talking about, Joe. We know what they want.
Gang.
We've always given them what they want, and now it's time to talk about the question of the week, like we do every week on this show. Okay.
God forbid you don't give credit to somebody else for the idea, but okay.
Let's get into it, though. You guys want to rap about it? We were talking about Marvel and DC reprinting not quite all, but a good chunk
puzzling
of their intercompany crossovers. And I have questions. What is your favorite? Of course, is the question of the week. I'd be the first to admit I don't enjoy these. They don't do shit for me. Does anyone else feel like I do? Because like Amalgam,
no, I love
Marvel versus DC.
No,
like
I loved Amalgam.
None of them did much.
Yeah, that's going to be my answer as well too. I have fond memories of actually collecting those when I was younger from the comic book.
Amalgam was fun.
Amalgam.
Yep.
We had this guy come in. He's a great guy, nicest dude, and he would come strutting into the comic shop, and he's like, "I'm looking to fill up all my Amalgam back issues. Y'all got an Amalgam section?" And I was like, "Right this way, sir." Amalgam. There you go. Enjoy. Like, fuck yeah, Amalgam comics.
I actually
hope he found everything he needed.
Frank, what was that?
I love the crossovers. I think they were just like a really fun. They were just really fun, you know. Like they really like kind of tweaked that that little thing, whatever it was for me that gave me a little bit of happiness as a kid. Where it's like, oh look, it's the Teen Titans and the X-Men, or it's Spider-Man and Superman, or look, Batman trying to beat up the Hulk. Oh, look at that! He gave the Hulk. Punched the Hulk with a little knife hand, and you know,
knocked the wind out of him.
We all want to know what's going to happen when they fight. My problem was they let the fans decide who wins.
Yeah, I agree.
That was just in Marvel versus DC. That was just Marvel versus DC.
That was such bullshit. Because they're like, you're telling me Storm shows up and beats the shit out of Wonder Woman? Really? No. No.
Well, I think the most egregious was that Lobo, that Wolverine beats Lobo, but the entire fight takes place behind a bar. Like they knock each other behind a bar, and then you don't actually see them fight.
Yeah,
cheap.
God.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, it's 1990, 1996, 1995, 1996 comics code book. You can't show Wolverine cutting chunks off a Lobo.
No.
This was before This was before the more enlightened days of the polybagged blood hunt Wolverine 41 extra gore.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Oh, and hey, in an effort to share the air, guys, if you have something you want to bring up that's like on the subject, or you want to talk about something, do a little like hand thing, or raise a hand, or do an emoji or some shit, so I know, and we'll call on you and tell everybody to shut up. All right, so we could share the air. That doesn't mean now, but Frank, you were talking.
What am I? What?
You were talking. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh yeah, I just said is every time you cut Lobo, doesn't it create a new Lobo?
Does Lobo do that?
Like, didn't he have that? Yeah,
actually, yeah. A Lobo can regrow his. So Lobo regenerates is the thing, and I think Lobo's body, if Lobo's body is destroyed, it can regenerate from a single drop of blood, and I think that there must certainly be limitations, like, for example, if you cut off Lobo's eye, if you in Hitman versus Lobo, Tommy Monahan shoots Lobo point blank in the eyes with his 2 pistols, and surely there's blood. But the bulk of Lobo is still kicking. So like what's left of Lobo on the ground of Lobo doesn't like regrow into more Lobos. But in our worlds at war, Lobo is I think at that time there was like a kid Lobo for whatever reason. It doesn't matter why. Don't ask me any questions. I can't remember.
Not Lobo's
It was
daughter.
a Young Justice thing.
This is a full-on
Peter
kid
Dave.
Lobo.
No.
Yeah.
It was Young Justice. There was like, Lil Lobo. I don't remember.
Yeah, they Muppet babied Lobo.
They Muppet babied Logo, right?
Yeah.
And he was like completely destroyed. This Lobo, but he did leave behind like blood spatter, and a bunch of Lobos grew out of it. A bunch of little Lobos. It was a thing. It happened in the comics.
I think it was like when they first originally made him, it was like if you cut Lobo's arm off, he grows another Lobo grows out of the arm, but then I think they kind of retconned it so that it wasn't you didn't have an entire universe full of Lobos.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So it would kind of gotten crazy after a while.
Never really cared about
It's like
Lobo.
when you cut if you cut Deadpool in half,
Well, hold on.
the part with the brain regrows the body, not the part with just the
we all
legs.
know the rules are the writer regrows whatever he wants to regrow. So come on.
Well, yeah, that's true too. That is
Joe Reynolds is unmuted. Joe, what do you got for us?
Well, funnily enough, this isn't the best question for me, but because I started reading after a lot of those crossovers happened.
Sure.
And then kind of quit before the late 90s ones did, but then there's always like the one-shotty ones like Batman versus Spawn, Batman, and the Ninja Turtles, Batman versus Predator, Alien, Batman versus like everybody. But the one I was kind of thinking of, which I would love to see, would be Green Lantern versus Alien Legion.
Hell yes.
Because
that would be good.
Both space police forces,
Hell yes.
but one is like grittier and a little bit more fun, and the other one is like more whimsical, I feel, and a little like too clean and like beautiful. I'd love to see those two smashed together.
Love to see like Green Lantern, like the Lantern Corps showing up to an active war scene where they are like laying it down and they're like, all right, this fighting's over. And they're like, no, it isn't. I don't think you get it. Like, this is war. We don't just like stop,
It's like a Jedi standing around a bunch of clones, and they're kind of like regally prancing around in their robes, and all the clones are laying on the ground.
Exactly. Exactly. Trevor, you've got your hands up. What do you got?
Yeah. Do you guys think they are building towards another crossover event?
I
think they're testing the waters for one for sure.
They don't do anything without knowing.
They did tease at the end of Doomsday Clock. Do you guys remember that?
No. What was at the end of Doomsday
Refresh my memory.
The end of Doomsday Clock, they showed, so like the big reveal is that Superman, wherever he's born, like resets the DC universe. So that's how they explain all the different Earths. And then they show some future Earths. So one of them was 5G. So when you take that with a grain of salt.
Huh.
But they teased 2 future events. And one of them was 2025, one called Time Masters, which who knows what that is. And
That's
then
an existing DC thing.
Yeah. Okay, I'm unfamiliar. But they also, for 2030, they teased something called Secret Crisis.
Oh.
Okay, sure. I wonder if they were just having a little bit of fun, but maybe. And so, Time Masters, I think it was Rip Hunter. Mike Carlin wrote it. It was an old, like, late 80s, early 90s.
I just plugged it in.
Before they invented it was before they invented the linear men with, like, Wave Rider, and all that stuff.
No, thank you.
And the Time Masters were kind of the precursors to the linear men.
To answer your question, though, Trevor, Crisis. I don't think, and Damon's going to know what I'm talking about because he watches wrestling. Whenever they do something on wrestling, whether it's like, oh, so-and-so is here to say a couple words. We haven't seen this superstar for a long time. Guess what? They're coming back. They're doing something. Marvel and DC telegraphs
Foreshadowing.
everything they do.
Well, I mean, it's like it's a literary device. It's called Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
If in a story somebody references a gun for whatever reason, like, oh, hold on, I just got to put my gun away in the gun safe,
Right.
or hey, have you seen my gun rag? Or whatever. That gun is important later. You can count on somebody getting shot.
So yes, we're gonna get another Marvel and DC crossover. 100%.
And I think so. For the longest time, people clamored for Marvel and DC to resume crossovers after JLA versus the Avengers was kind of like the last hurrah. And Dan DiDio and Joe Quesada, for some reason, fucking hated each other. And
I think it's because Dan DiDio was a complete jackass, as I recall.
well, I mean, I don't like. I think that there's probably blame to go around, but
I'm sure. Joe Q's a bit of a blowhard too, but
sure. But Dan DiDio said, "I won't entertain the idea of doing a crossover with Marvel until Joe Quesada is no longer the editor in chief." And then Joe Quesada got promoted out of the job, and then Dan DiDio got fired.
So in this case, Dan DiDio was the Vince McMahon to Joe Quesada's Eric Bischoff. That's what you're saying in wrestling terms.
Because everybody wanted. This was during the time everybody wanted.
Which is not fair
This
because
was like during
Vince McMahon
Bendis'
is now a
Daredevil.
sex trafficker. So sorry, Dan. That's not what I
Sure, yeah.
Well, that's a whole
everybody-
other. Yeah.
Everybody wanted. This was at the height of Bendis' powers at Marvel. Everybody wanted Bendis to write a new Daredevil Batman crossover.
Yeah.
And Dan DiDio was like, hell no.
Yeah. JD, you've had your hand up patiently. What do you got?
Oh yeah, no, I was looking this one up because I thought it had happened, and if it has, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things that came to mind was Atomic Robo and Hellboy.
I don't think there was there. I don't think there wasn't.
I could have sworn that happened.
I feel like we'd remember that more clearly. I don't think it's happened.
I feel like I heard something about that happening, but I don't know if it ever did. Yeah, I don't think it
to.
I don't think it did.
Those two characters are so compatible.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. Atomic Robo is basically BPRD for science, where they had the science group, and like he was their golem, their like hero type thing that ran around, just like Hellboy ran around for the BPRD. Like, no, that would be perfect. I would love that. Hellboy did cross over with the Next Men, though.
Fun.
I mean, it wasn't a crossover. No. That's where he was introduced.
Yes, which makes perfect sense. John Byrne's Next Men.
Brian, what's up?
They've been taught. It's that Mark Miller had that thing a couple months ago about like, what they need to do, what the big two needs to do is like bring on like big creators for runs on books. And I honestly think,
is that all?
That's it.
That's it.
Greg Capullo. That's all you need.
He's going to do 3 issues of Wolverine and then whatever, it's going to be back to like Scott Eaton or something.
I'll take the under 2.5. I'll take the under.
I mean, maybe a full arc. I said 2, maybe 6. And that's like it. I mean, he did a pretty long run on Batman, but
he did,
I think another run at Amalgam is kind of a fun idea. If they actually do that, with, Mark Waid and Chris Samney and Dan Mora and Pepe Larraza and Jerry Duggan, like all the big names, like give them it's one issue, like we don't need a mini series, but like 25 news stories by the top people. I think that, at $5.99 a book, I think that would get some stuff going, it's going to bring a little bit of heat.
Totally.
And I think that, that kind of thing, and maybe do a big crossover. I mean, I am not a real fan of George Perez. His artwork, I think, is pretty 80s and kind of outdated. And
that's great news, Brian. He's dead.
Well, I know, but what I mean is for like JLA, like Avengers, like that's not for me. Like Kurt Busiek, I think, is like such like a Bronze Age kind of, honestly, kind of boring writer, and George Perez is not really my thing. So it's like, okay, those like that whole, I skipped that whole thing. Like I'm not going to do that, but seeing something kind of new might be interesting. Maybe I think there's some potential for a short short thing.
Yeah.
Don't make a big don't make a big deal of it, but don't stretch it out. We don't need 12 issues.
No.
That's going to put a strain on the other books. Like,
do 6 issues. Do 6 issues where they're all
Tom Taylor and
they're matched up, and then you have one shot origins and shit for the big characters by like cool creators, and at the end they go, "Oh, we did it. We separated our universes. Goodbye, Superman. Thank you for helping me." He's like, "Goodbye, Professor X," or whatever. You know.
I think there's something to be said about Brian's idea. Just do the amalgams. Who cares? Like, I don't need another Marvel versus DC.
Well, but I mean,
I'm
saying if Secret Crisis is the thing that's going to happen, like if they're doing it that way, you know.
I think Secret Crisis was a Jeff Johns funny line, but I think it's, hey, why not?
Yeah, I did.
You know, like it's going to turn around and he's not going to do it. And we're also, you know, but who knows what's going to happen? We've got all these creators that have gone to do all of their, you know, what's a Ghost Machine or whatever, those weird little imprints. They're going to do their creator own books. And I think miss a little bit of the notoriety and the money and come back to do some, you know, Ivan Rice is going to be back drawing something for one of the big two at some point, and same with Brian Hitch and all them.
Of course.
These little creator-owned imprint things. As there was some discussion about the distillery books of there's stuff coming up, but who remembers it and who's it for? You know, like Jock's going to be back. They're all going to be back.
Yeah. Jock's doing 3 issues. It's not like Jock's going to be there for the next year.
Doesn't Ghost Machine remind you of H2?
What was H2?
It's like Guerrilla Comics. It's all the same. You know, it's H2. Yeah, it's all like of those.
Was that the humanoids? Was H2 the humanoids imprint?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I do remember that.
There was a flash in the pan, and no one remembers anything about it.
Yeah. Well, they're just like, hey, these are my IPs.
Guerrilla Comics is a pretty good comparison. I said cross-gen, but cross-gen wasn't creator owned. That was like a universe that they were hired. That was work for hire,
and they were building a whole universe. This creator owned stuff is just more like, here's my IP. Does anybody want it for anything? Nope. Okay, done.
It's please buy my IP.
Yeah,
please buy it.
Yeah,
please. Yeah.
But I mean, Guerrilla Comics. A lot of great stuff came out of Guerrilla Comics. You know, let's not forget Black Bull. Black Bull.
That was the Wizard imprint, right?
That was Bull? Wizard Magazine's own comics imprint, where we got Gatecrasher and what was that Garth Ennis book, Brian?
They had Beautiful Killer. Was that Garth Ennis and Phil Noto?
I think
was that
so.
One?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Maybe. Just a Pilgrim is the one I'm thinking of. That was Carlos Ezquerra and Garth Ennis. Yeah.
Don't forget the Guerrilla comic that George Perez did about the woman with period powers, if you remember.
Oh, Crimson Plague!
Yeah,
what?
Crimson Plague!
Crimson Plague!
Come on!
And then he took it to CrossGen, and it was like the only creator-owned book at CrossGen.
God, think of
they can have it.
The dollars he's made off of that book. Just think of it. Good thing he owns it. You know, it's like, come on, just draw Captain America. What are we doing?
Okay, so I'm looking for Crimson Plague links, and like everyone I've clicked on, it's like, this site is not secure.
Make sure you put George Perez in your search terms.
I found it. No, but like I can't find anybody really writing about it other than like, what the fuck? She had period powers.
Yeah, it's a shock that it's just a shock that didn't catch on.
I mean, like if a lady creator wants to come up with this idea and go for it, we'll be like, hey, take it away, your book. But like George fucking Perez, no, fight that urge,
was old
George.
When that came out. He was an old man.
Well, and the thing is that it's not like it was some Comicsgate-esque like. Women on their periods, am I right? That wasn't his take. It was like she got superpowers based on her menstrual cycle. And it's like, George. George, what are we doing?
All right, this is getting cringe.
That's what happens when there's no women in the room. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds like something out of Wild Cards.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
Frank. Yes,
right?
it does.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the
But like the later Wild Cards books when they became all like weird pornos,
where they're like, I only have powers when I touch children inappropriately. Like, what am I reading?
Yeah.
Like, oh God, no!
I shot up the third book on those.
Well, you want to hear somebody do some mental gymnastics justifying the Wild Cards franchise? You talk to Dave DeMarco sometime.
Oh, yeah, he loves it. He loves it.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Question. Do we think Pedro Pascal is going to shave that mustache?
Nope.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think they put out a piece of promo art with him in the beard. That means he's going to have the beard.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's actually even a mustache or it's a growth on his face that doesn't come off and cannot be trimmed. You know,
it's attached to it. It's right.
Well,
and you know what? They gave us shaved Pedro Pascal in Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah.
And it was like seeing Sam Elliott with his mustache cut off in Parks and Rec.
It was
you don't
weird.
Want it.
Yeah. Like I remember.
You don't want it.
Might as well have been a different actor.
Yeah. I remember as a kid.
Sam Elliott looked like.
My dad shaved and I cried, as a kid. I was just like,
Sam Elliott looked like Dana Carvey in Master of Disguise with the turtle. Geez. Like, am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club with his weird little pointy mouth?
Well, hey, real quick, before we jump to Fantastic Four, anybody else want to talk question of the week here? Damon, you did bring up Avengers JLA, which I'll go on record. Read it, hated it. I hated it.
It's very throwbacky.
God, I hated it.
It was the opposite. And that's what I was saying in my comment. Like, I know Brian alluded to, even the art felt busy. It was very strange, especially for that time when it came out. And the dialogue was exceptionally cringe, if I remember.
God. It was so bad.
Yeah.
And I remember the fights that started in the comic shop over can Thor beat up Superman or can Superman beat up Thor. It was like we had to separate people and be like, all right, you got to take it easy.
Calm down. Calm down.
It got heated. There was some sweating and some red-faced rants and shit. But, I mean, end of the day.
Same people who you back then argued about Super Nintendo versus Sega. There was a lot of brand loyalty stuff going on, I'm sure.
I will say, at the end of the day, Mjolnir
Super Nintendo is the only right answer. But
Mjolnir is a magic weapon.
I mean, I don't disagree with that either. But
if Thor hits Superman with a magic weapon, Superman's going to get hurt. It's a magic weapon.
Okay, look, the hammer's not magic.
It's magic.
The hammer's made of metal.
It is enchanted.
I have participated in this argument about if Shazam punches Superman, does Superman get hurt extra?
Yes.
Because Shazam's powers are fueled by magic.
Big time.
My argument is no.
Wrong.
Unless he's like crackling with magic.
Nope. Wrong. He's powered by magic. He's an enchanted being. He messes with Superman. We've seen him knock
his fist
Superman
is made
out.
of skin and bone.
We've seen him straight up knock Superman out. We've seen it happen.
Because he's as strong as Superman. Like that's.
Well,
I'm not arguing
with
that.
the lightning, right?
Yeah,
with the Shazam lightning.
I think if he Kingdom Comes his ass, and fries him with the Shazam lightning, Superman's in bad shape.
All right, I wasn't trying to start this fight again. I think it's a hilarious fight, though.
Don't even get me started.
Fantastic forecasting. How do we feel?
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm happy with all of it.
For those of you that don't pay close attention to the news and are hearing this later in the recording, Marvel officially announced that the world's worst kept secret is true. Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards. Vanessa Kirby is Sue. Eddie Munson from Stranger Things is Johnny Storm. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. Joseph Quinn is his name.
Yes.
And Cousin from the Bear is Ben Grimm.
A lot of memes going around this week. It's clobbering time, cousin.
Yeah.
I hope cousin is ready for the fandom to turn against him, because that's what always happens, right?
Oh, sure.
He's riding high as everybody's favorite, and give it a couple months, and it's going to be as soon as the first screenshot of the Rocky form comes out, it's going to be 50-50, and he's going to be like, "Why the fuck did I do this?"
I will tell you, God help them if the thing that shows up on screen does not look like the thing that they showed in the promo art.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It better look exactly like that. So Marvel confirmed this
promo art. They really called their shot, didn't they?
They did, yes. Marvel confirmed this by releasing a Valentine's Day greeting from the first family, right? And it was this very like retro future 60s, like the 1960s version of the future vibe with like a kind of retro logo, very cool like design aesthetic. Thank you, Matt. And then they showed the Thing, and then they put Cousin in the background in his like astronaut photo, which I thought was great.
When this first hit, I looked at it and I was like, fake. I'm like, fake. Because I was like, it's too good. That's too good.
From the official Marvel account.
No, but I was just seeing it on somebody else's account on Twitter or some shit. Like I didn't see the actual.
People were reposting it without context.
And it would look like one of those things where a creator just did something, like a creator that you love that's like, hey, here's this thing I did or whatever. I'm like, well, that's too good. Marvel wouldn't nail it that much, like that's too good. And then it's like, no, that's Marvel putting that out. And okay. They're going to do the 60s thing maybe.
Real quick before we open the floor up, something that I think is cool to point out is that Cousin is the first Jewish actor to be cast to play Ben Grimm, which is wild.
Yeah. Well,
and
let's look
Herbie's
at
there. The other thing was the retro future vibe makes me think that we were all right about our theories about the first movie being a period piece.
I think so.
Yeah. There were some rumors. I remember when this first started that there was some inkling of it, and obviously there was some fire behind that smoke. So, which I'm not complaining about.
No,
it's probably perfect.
No, I think you have to, right? You've got to do it. It's got to start cute, cheesy 60s. Like they're the darlings of the sci-fi age, the Fantastic Four, and they're going on their mission for NASA. What happened? They're gone, and they were never seen again, and then blip. Here they are in the future, like, we were gone for 15 minutes. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, it wasn't 15 minutes, Fantastic Four.
So, John Taverdic in the chat points out, Ben is reading a magazine in this picture, and it's very abstract and blurry in the painting, but it's identifiable enough. It is a Life magazine issue from 1963 after Kennedy was assassinated. Marking
Lyndon Johnson,
marking the occasion of LBJ becoming the president, and so it's the promo art is basically confirming, at least for me, that the movie takes place, at least starts in 1963.
Yeah,
and I'd like to think that maybe they'll keep with the idea that the FF were formed in 1961, which is when Fantastic Four #1 came out.
Ooh.
And so they've been at it for a couple years.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
they've been at it for a couple years when they got lost.
Well, they're in suits here. Look at them. They've got the suits on already.
Sure.
So it's not
but the suits look like casual wear. Well, they're not really in costume. But
yeah, but I mean, that's kind of how they look.
I know they got the logo on the chest.
Yeah, that's how.
I know they got, but they also look like baggy, and they've got weird
cardigan lines.
Well, yeah, might be what they go with initially.
Yeah. They just started.
They look like their costumes. They have a costume look to them.
This looks
have a costume look.
This looks like Kirby
costume. Modified spacesuit look too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. That's exactly what I was going to say too.
Yeah, read the boots.
Like the boots and and you could see you could see the definition in his shoulders and under his pecs.
Yeah,
you could see some muscle definition there. So I think it's going to be the costumes. I think and the sleeves are three-quarter sleeves, so you could put gloves on. Yeah, I mean, I'm just
like space gloves or something. Sure.
Right.
I'm guessing that Johnny
and gloves.
Yeah, there you go.
Space
gloves.
But
Johnny and Ben are probably going to don something similar to a Reed suit. I would imagine.
I guarantee.
I love.
Oh yeah, because Johnny's wearing a jacket and it's got a shirt with a collar underneath. So.
And you're not going to do shirtless thing wearing pants, right? They're not going to go there. He's going to wear a singlet or something, right?
I'm about to say like a wrestling singlet.
I think it would be. I think that the CGI required to animate all of the rocks of the thing's body would I would think it would be better for them to put him in a singlet.
Just break a computer.
Easier to animate, right? Cheaper to animate.
It's going to be a pain in the ass. They're going to have to.
It's just Korg.
Yeah, it's Korg.
Oh, that's true. Also,
yeah. I mean, they did it with Korg, and Korg looks good. Definitely.
Mark in the chat made a joke. The costumes are going to be dark navy with airbrushed abs and a subtle hexagonal back.
Yeah, right. Only way.
God, I hope so. So now that we've had this cast,
don't put that energy into the universe.
The rumor mill is in full gear now that Adam Driver is going to join as Dr. Doom, and Javier Bardem is going to be your Galactus. Which, okay, look.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. John posted.
Oh no!
John posted that meme where it's the guy peeking out from behind the tree, rubbing his hands together because he's excited. Except it's Namor from Black Panther: Wakanda Forever looking at Sue Storm.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
That's so good.
I was about. I'm not going to put it this way, but somebody pointed out that maybe Sue has a type at this point. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to go any further than that.
So Matt, I'm sorry, I was cackling. What did you say about Adam Driver?
The rumor mill is in full tilt that Adam Driver is your Doom and Javier Bardem is your Galactus. I don't buy it. I don't think Driver would do it.
There's no both in the movie.
And I think Driver already got burned by Star Wars, and he's probably like, fuck that. I'm not doing this again. No way. Fuck that.
I don't know, though. He hasn't been unreceptive when they asked him. It's just that I don't think he's just found the role that he wants. But the other part is that isn't Doom... I mean, I don't know how much younger he is than Pedro Pascal, but shouldn't he be kind of around the same age? We don't want a younger Doom, do we?
Well, I mean, they went... Well, okay.
I mean, personally, I don't.
Wasn't Doom kind of a kid genius, too? And, like, accelerated?
In the comics, they were...
No.
In the comics, they were contemporaries.
Did someone else tell a story
yeah.
later where Doom was kind of a kid genius I'm thinking of?
That was Ultimate.
No.
Ultimate?
Was that
maybe,
Ultimate?
Maybe.
Maybe it was that Fantastic movie.
Maybe that... Oh, God.
That definitely
Please
was.
don't.
No, he was a blogger.
Oh, God.
He was an
that's
angry
right. I think he
blogger.
was.
Don't you remember?
Yeah. He was a professional internet troll.
Yeah.
I just read an article today with a Doom rumor that I thought was kind of interesting. Ben Mendelsohn, the guy who played the Skrull, he played Talos. He is actively petitioning to play Doom.
You can't.
It's kind of adorable. It's kind of adorable because Ben Mendelsohn wants to play Dr. Doom so bad.
I mean, that's great, but
it's not just that he wants a job. It's that he loves Dr.
And that's
Doom.
great, but you're already in the universe, bro, and I'm sorry. You accept no.
He's dead.
Talos is a Skrull, my guy.
I get it, but you can't take that
Talos
same
is dead.
actor and make him Doom now. Be like, oh, but this is Dr. No.
You can?
Oh, you can't?
No.
I think there's
just say
precedent.
he's
I think there's
No.
precedent with. I think there's precedent with that is set by characters from
Evans?
this very franchise.
In what? How many people have
Chris
gone
Evans?
have played
Chris
themselves?
Evans.
No, Chris Evans was not
True.
in an MCU movie. I'm talking about
Whatever.
in the
It doesn't matter.
MCU. Okay.
Nobody will care,
Okay, look, I have
No.
a pitch. I have a pitch.
especially if Doom never takes his mask off.
You can't do it. And Doom is going to
Exactly.
take his
Well,
mask off
no, no.
because Doom's going to be played
I
by
have
a
a better
famous
pitch.
person.
He's going to have his mask off because Spider-Man has his mask off.
Yes.
And Captain America. They always take their dumb masks
But
off.
they have
His
to take
mask
their-
is off and his face is all fucked up.
I hope they do the thing. This is the Doom I want. I want the Doom where, like, behind the mask, I am disfigured, and he takes it off, and it's like there's a tiny little scar, and he's gorgeous, you know. But when he looks in the mirror, he's like, I am a freak, you know.
Body dysmorphic Doom.
Yes, absolutely. Like, look at you,
John-
fat, disgusting
John in the
pig. You know?
John in the chat points out the latest rumor is that Cillian Murphy is in the running for
Fine.
Doom, which is a pretty good choice.
Fine with me. That'd be great. And
I'm good with that.
yeah, closer to Pedro Pascal's age. They're contemporaries. I love it.
Well, no. Cillian Murphy is not closer to Pedro Pascal's age. Pedro Pascal and Ben Mendelsohn are only 4 years apart. I looked it up.
I'm not saying one is more close than the other. I'm saying Ben Mendelsohn, you are disqualified. No, you're out. You had your shot. You don't get to be another character in the MCU.
I don't care.
I love you, Ben.
He wants it so bad.
Great
and I
actor.
want it for him.
No.
All I was going to say, I had a pitch if they were going to do this. He's a Skrull, or was a Skrull. Who's to say he didn't base his look off of a research scientist that he found, I don't know, in the 60s?
The only hitch in that, Damon, because I had the exact same thought, is that he was posing as a known figure, Nick Fury's boss.
Oh, that's right.
And by the way, Pedro Pascal is 48, Cillian Murphy's 47, and Ben Mendelsohn's 54. So up yours.
I didn't realize that Cillian Murphy was that old.
Yeah, he's been around
forever.
Oh, yeah, he's been around.
He's been around.
Well, but even so, they're all still within a nebulous 5-year range.
Yeah.
And I don't think
Except
I
Sue,
wouldn't
she's
have a problem.
35.
except for Sue, who's much too young for any of them.
Which is so I love Reed.
I'm not
snooping up on the.
Is Vanessa Kirby actually 35?
35.
But like, okay, so when
I would have bet money that she was younger.
In the comics, when Reed met Sue, wasn't she like Johnny's teenage sister?
She was a teenager.
He groomed the shit out of her. It was bad.
He was a boarder in their home.
Oh, even better. That's right out of
he rented a room in the today. Residence.
Naughty stepsisters in the other room.
To be very nice about it, he could be 23, fortunate, but she's 17, which is still not.
That's cool. A crime. That's still a crime.
It's not cool.
I mean, look, I'm just saying that they knew each other, not that they started dating when she was a teenager.
Fair.
But yeah, I mean, she was, of course, John Byrne or whoever came up with that idea. I think it was John Byrne when I read it, did flashbacks to that. But of course, she was like instantly in love with him because he's this handsome college man, whatever. Yeah. And it's so icky.
So back to our casting rumors. I don't think either of any of this is true, of course. But can you not see Javier Bardem in a Galactus outfit? Oh my God. He would nail it. Just like stone-faced the entire time.
He definitely has the voice for it.
Oh, yeah. My God. His character from No Country for Old Men. Just put on the helmet. We're done here.
I do have one rumor that was out there. I don't know if it's been substantiated yet. I don't think it has. But there was this crazy rumor going on that the Silver Surfer may be gender swapped.
Oh. But you don't need to do that. Just make it Frankie Ray. Just throw Frankie Ray in there. Come on.
That's probably what it's going to be, very likely. But there are some people that, oh my God, they're going to turn silver. I mean, either way, actually, I'd be interested.
The thing is that Silver Surfer's dong is a huge part of his character.
Yes,
so
it is. Yes. I'll tell you one thing. The Silver Surfer stands up when he pees. God damn it.
I love that in the 60s, they were like, Jack, you've got to draw him. You've got to draw the outline of Trunks on that dude. You got to make it look like he's wearing shorts. It's like, he's covered head to toe in metal. What do you want? You can't see his dick no matter what. And it's like, nah. He's got. The children are reading Jack. Please, put him in shorts.
Okay, Trevor brings up.
You know what? I wish he was dick naked.
Trevor brings up in the chat. Ben Mendelsohn is just looking for work. He's also talking about returning to Star Wars and Andor. Fine with that. Crossover. You can go and do Star Wars. Yeah, you haven't been in Star Wars yet. Sure, by all means.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Go do Star Wars.
If dude wants to work. Dude's not. Samuel L. Jackson just loves to work. He wants to work so much that he'll take any job. Right?
He makes some terrible movies.
Right, but Ben Mendelsohn doesn't have that problem. People actually want Ben Mendelsohn because he's great.
Well, sure.
Not that I don't love Samuel L. Jackson, but you know what I mean. It's different. And
Sam Jackson talked about Mace Windu, man. He says he ain't dead.
Okay,
very recently, like 2 days ago.
Samuel L. Jackson said Mace Windu is.
Of course, Sam Jackson's saying that. He's Sam Jackson. Yep. Give me a break.
I know.
And
you don't see the body.
I think I'm done with Nick Fury. I think I'm just over it. Like after Secret Invasion and shit, and like then he pops up acting completely different in the Marvels, and it's just like what are we even doing with this character anymore? Like I don't get it. I think maybe Nick can go away at this point. I'm just done.
Fury in the Marvels was fine. You just pretend Secret Invasion never came out or that you didn't.
That's the problem, though. It did come out, and it's directly connected. You know, I mean, like, ugh.
Is it though?
Yeah, Fury talks about it, like the shit that was going on. I mean, like, yes, it's connected, Joe. It happened before this. This is a connected universe. You kidding me? There's still a Celestial in the ocean sticking its hand up, whether we want to think about it or not. Yes.
Name one other project that has referenced it.
It doesn't.
Other than as a Easter egg in She-Hulk.
You don't get to no prizes shit, Joe. They made us watch this shit.
I'm not no prizing it. I'm saying... I'm not no prizing it. I'm saying it's okay for you to just pretend like it didn't happen.
Bullshit.
Like you are an adult.
Nope.
You can make your own mind
You're
up
right.
about these
I'm an adult
things.
that wants good stories.
You can say, I like Nick
have
Fury.
to pretend.
Secret Invasion sucked, but I like Nick Fury, and he was good in the Marvels, and I wouldn't mind seeing Nick Fury again in
There's
something else.
no reason why they need to make that mistake. JD Catch, tell me what the morph controversy is. I don't know what this is.
So did you see the X-Men 97 trailer?
I did. I felt nothing.
Yeah.
I know you guys loved it. I felt nothing.
Sorry, I did.
We don't want to hear about it, Matt. We don't want to hear about how much you hated that
I'm not
show.
yucking anybody's yum. You can have it.
Then shut up.
Well, you can also hate it like the rest of the internet for the fact that Morph is now non-binary.
Wasn't
Oh no!
All of the neckbeards are up in arms.
But I mean, like, look,
because now they've made X-Men woke.
Because they've got such an investment in the long and storied history of Morph.
No shit. And
This is like the same
Thank
people
you.
for Madame Web fan club.
And I'll take this like
Right? Yeah, it's the same guys that have Madam Web tattoos.
But like anyone who's in like this shape changer type, and we've talked about Mystique and shit like that. Like I would argue, no, you are non-binary. You are a shape changer that can become
Well, look,
what you want.
I'm not trying to like
her. They're just drawing Morph with a more femme-presenting form in the new trailer, and that's
Kind of androgynous,
went up in arms.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of an androgynous form.
like I'm not defending anybody or anything like that, but like I can understand that there is a distinction between Morph's power set and Mystique's power set. Mystique is truly gender fluid, but she was born female. It's not like she wasn't born female or that Morph wasn't born male. But these things don't have to be forever when you've got a character that can become anything they want.
You also have a gene that kicks in and makes you something different.
Yeah. Megan, on the other hand, from Excalibur, is a character who is like of magical origin.
She's like an elf, right?
And when she, half elf, like from
like
half from Otherworld. I don't know.
Harvey knows. Harvey's here. He knows.
When Megan was born, it's actually in the handbook. When Megan was born, she came out and immediately became this like creature covered in fur because she was an infant who was terrified and freezing.
Right.
And so, like,
yes, Brian.
Different.
Yes,
Megan
can kick Superman's ass because she's from a magic. She's a magic creature.
No.
Yes. Yes.
No.
If Megan spits on
like
Superman,
Superman
dies.
No.
Oh man, I agree with Brian.
You were such an idiot.
It's true. Absolutely true. Frank.
On that note, it's 12:05.
Yeah, Frank, you were going to say something before we go.
I am excited for X-Men 97, though.
I will say this.
Me too.
As an adult, I understand that if Gambit charges up your claws, your hands explode at some point. So.
Yeah. I mean, look, as cool as that moment is, Wolverine is not indestructible, and Gambit's only power is to make bombs.
So the next thing that happens is Wolverine jumps.
And he's already done it to Daken in the actual comics, and
he did it to Daken in the comic, and he threatened to do it. I think JD and I saw the same TikTok videos last night.
Yeah.
He threatened to do it to Ultimate Wolverine in the Ultimate X-Men, and Wolverine backed down. He's like, he retracted his claws. If Gambit charges up your skeleton, goodbye.
The next thing that happens is Wolverine hits whatever, and all of his guts and flesh blows off his adamantium skeleton. That's what happens.
Just real quick, the only other thing from the 97 trailer that I wanted to point out is that they show Jean pregnant, and if they're staying as close to the comic, and if they're staying as close to the comic stories as they did in the original series, that's not Jean.
Oh shit! It's Megan.
No, it's
Madeline. It's Madeline.
It's Madeline.
It's Madeline.
Yeah.
So
if it's Madeline Pryor, this could go batshit crazy quickly.
Okay, so I want to say a minor spoiler. I don't know if it's a spoiler or not because you know me, I collect many action figures. So there's been a release of the new figures for this series,
right?
And one of them is Madeline Pryor with a baby.
Oh shit!
You have it.
Okay.
Eagle eye, catch 'em.
Shit. Okay, now I'm invested.
was going to say, like, didn't they do the Goblin Queen on the original cartoon?
I got to see where this dumb shit goes now.
No.
Okay.
No,
they a little too risque for that.
Yeah, they
could
couldn't
half-ass a lot of plot lines, though.
They did.
They did, but
That
they
was the
couldn't.
special sauce of that terrible show was half-assing all classic storylines.
Absolutely, and you're not going to get that
I was
Goblin
young
Queen
enough to enjoy it.
thong on the X-Men cartoon. No way.
No, they definitely did not.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Just real quick before we move on, I want to touch base real quick. We missed it in the chat. Frank named his daughter after Frankie Ray, which I think is adorable.
Oh, wow.
I did.
I love Frankie Ray.
My wife
Just
didn't know at the time.
Did you tell your wife that you named your daughter after a naked gold chick from space?
No, not at the time. It was
Okay.
it was a few years later. I said, "Oh, by the way, I named her after a comic book
Frankie
character."
Ray is a lot
She
more
wouldn't
than
let me name her.
she's a lot more than just a
I
naked
went with-
gold
I went
chick.
with-
Okay, all right.
I don't know. A naked gold chick from
She's
space is
Galactus.
very.
She's a herald of
That's very on brand
Galactus.
for
She has
Frank. Yeah.
cosmic power. Okay,
Right.
you don't need clothes
No, well,
when you've got
She
cosmic
didn't like
power.
7.
Look, I'm not saying she's not a powerful woman, Matt, but there's been lots of powerful women that wear clothes.
Fair enough.
saying.
But they didn't all work for Galactus. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Right?
She wouldn't let me name her 7.
Also,
7 was
by
my
the way,
first choice.
genocide, accomplice to genocide, but what,
She's doing her job, Joe. She had a job to do.
Just saying. Yeah. Look,
She eventually
it's a
rebelled.
living.
Yeah. He found a better job later. Maybe,
Sure,
sort of. I don't know how
sure.
you define that, but.
All right, we're overtime. I got to get out of here. I got stuff I got to do. This was great. I had a really good time. We'll start doing the question of the week on the show. I love it. So,
Yay.
next.
Yeah, and we won't eat up the first 20 minutes with Madam Web recaps going forward.
God.
So I think we'll have some more time to chat.
Well, I mean, look, you did us. That's doing us a favor. You helped everybody out there. You did
I
a
watched
service.
it, so you don't have to.
Yes, you did a service.
Yeah, you
And
did.
I am imploring you not to.
Salute to you. We appreciate your service, Joe. All right.
God bless you.
Talk to you guys later.